I'm Nalini Chandavan. I'm the accountable manager for the Art Williams and Harry Wendt Aeronautical Engineering School. What we do here is train persons from a high school level as young as 16, 17 years old to become an aircraft maintenance engineer. Our program is 4 years. It includes knowledge training, skills training, and on-the-job training with the maintenance companies at the Eugene F. Garay International Airport. We are also a training provider for the Guyana Defense Force for basic license. So anyone who's interested in aircraft, understanding the mechanics and even the legislation, and to be part of the industry, they start here. And it's a rewarding career, but it opened the doors to all aviation careers by being a graduate of Art Williams.
Apex Education would like to say thank you for giving us an opportunity. Our senior students in the upper secondary are very excited, and they would want to join your facility very soon. And I could see a lot of guys out there. Gavish Prasad, former student of Apex, Kosi Barker, and Lazaro Fraser, all are products of Apex Education.
Yeah, well, this, like I said, Art Williams opened the door with an aircraft engineer's license to many, many careers in aviation. So we're happy to let Guyanese students know, students in the Caribbean know that we have a school right here in Guyana that can train you to international standards, ICAO standards. We're governed and approved by the Guyana Civil Aviation Authority. So you can't go wrong by being part of our career.
And this is the only school in the region, the Caribbean?
That we know of. We are ISO 9001 certified. We have institutional accreditation from the Ministry of Education, the National Accreditation Council. We're the first in Guyana to have that institutional accreditation. So what you have here, along with completion certificates for your license, you also get an associate degree to move on to a BSc program that the school is working on with the Accreditation Council. So if you're thinking about pathways in education, going for a degree, a bachelor's, a master's, this is where you could start, knowing that you get value for that also.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Art Williams and Harry Wendt Aeronautical Engineering School at the Eugene F. Garay International Airport.
Yeah, so as I was saying, 5 subjects, math, science, English, and any other 2 subjects, right? But along with that, you still need to come in and do your entrance exam, right? Our entrance exam is a general IQ exam. Nothing too hard, basic math, basic English, and a bit of mechanical comprehension, right? So the students just told me only 4 of them want to be aeronautical engineers. I hope by the end of the tour will change half of your minds, at least half.
Are you
right?
more interested in aviation? Because from aeronautical engineer is more, is mainly, this is like a foot in the door for the aviation sector. So you can go on to so much other stuff from here, not just aeronautical engineering. You could also enter the oil and gas industry. You could do things like air traffic control, quality management.
4.5. So school is 4 years and 3 months, that's 4.25 years. So the total cost for that is $4.25 million. It seems expensive or it seems cheap? Which one? Cheap? May I raise a hand? Nobody know what accreditation means? Come on, man, you must know. Who want to go UG? When you graduate? 1 person, 2, 3. Okay. When you want to study at UG? Medicine. One person said medicine. She want to be a doctor. What else?
Marketing.
Marketing. Oh, my field. That's my field. Marketing. Okay. I mean, yeah, you could get fast. You could. No competition. Alright, so accreditation means that our certificates, once you finish the 4 and 40 years, it's accredited means that you could work anywhere overseas. So you can go overseas and you don't have to study back, you don't need their certificate, you could continue with our certificate because it's accredited. We're accredited by the National Accreditation Council right here in Guyana. Right? Alright, so I said I'll keep the presentation short because I want you to join your colleagues downstairs for the tour.
The Art Williams and Harry Wendt Aeronautical Engineering School Open Career Day. Senior Secondary School students are on tour.
This is our workshop manager, Mr. Rob. So he's gonna give the description of what we do in the workshop.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning, sir.
Welcome to the Art Williams and our Wendt Aviation School. My name is Raul Ali. I'm the workshop manager here. Basically, what we do in the workshop is most of the practical projects that the school provides. The school does a certain amount of practical projects here. To complement that, the students are sent to the various hangars here where they get additional practicals working on live aircraft. So what we do here is that we try to develop most of the basic skills. Like for example, you will see the students right now, they're performing drilling, riveting, which are essential skills for an aircraft technician or mechanic. So as part of your job as an aircraft mechanic or engineer, you'd have to perform riveting, you'd have to perform drilling, learning how to use hand tools, and that's what this workshop provides. Right? So we do more than just sheet metal work. We also do things like engine work on aircraft engines. On that side there, we have some engines. So hopefully when you finish, we're going to walk you around there. We have what they call gas turbine engines, and we have piston engines, and also propellers. So as part of the workshop, you learn how to perform basic maintenance skills on these things. So you do sheet metal work, and you also do work on engines, propellers, and certain systems. We have two aircraft on the other side. So when you finish on this side here, they'll walk you across on the other side. You see that we have two airplanes sitting there. And so we do certain basic maintenance tasks on those airplanes also. Alright? So in a nutshell, that's what we do in the workshop. Anybody get any questions? What about pilot? Anybody here thinking about piloting? Okay. What about stewardess? Anybody want to work as a stewardess on the aircraft? Good. So we have a few persons so far who seems to have a likeness for aviation, and that's good. That's good. Now aviation can be a rewarding field, yeah, but it takes hard work and dedication. You have to come into it because you like it. No other reason. Because if you don't like it, you'll get frustrated because it's hard work. And it requires a lot of focus. Right? When we fix an airplane, we want to make sure that that airplane takes off, does its flight, and returns safely. So we can't do our jobs and thinking about something else. So you have to learn to, as we say, when you're at work, focus on the work. You can't bring your stress at home on the work because it will affect your judgment, it will affect what you do. And then if the aircraft isn't fixed correctly, chances are it can't do that flight safely. And when that airplane is flying, there are lives on board. 65%, that's what we call a barely pass. So you've always got to be aiming higher. Yeah, so the pass mark in aviation is 75%. Right? And that's because you need to know your job to a high degree or level so that we can maintain safety all the time. So safety is one of the biggest things in aviation. It's important and it is everybody's business. We all got to work together to make the aircraft fly safely. Yeah? So for those of you planning to come into aviation, that's good. I like what I'm seeing, and I want you to know that if you work hard and you put your job, take your job seriously, as we say, the sky is the limit. Yeah, the sky is the limit. All right. So if there's no question, anybody with a question?
Sir, let's assuming that the chief aeronautical engineers sign off on aircraft to make local trips, and the plane develops some amount of difficulties like electrical or mechanical, and the plane crash landed. As the chief aeronautical engineer, you sign that everything is okay. What would be some of the investigations that would follow, or charges, or how do you assess? Okay, let's assume that everyone is safe.
Okay, so if there's an accident or incident, the procedure would be that the Civil Aviation Authority they can either do it themselves if they have qualified people, or they contracted qualified people that comes from overseas, and they would perform what they call it aircraft incident or accident investigation. And then based on their findings, if the findings show that the maintenance was at fault, then they will start to investigate the persons who performed the maintenance until they find exactly what was done. If it was something that was done wrong, deliberately done wrong, then the person or persons who are responsible can stand before the court of law, and they will have to answer for the incident or accident. And if found guilty, and that's why I said earlier that you have to be serious about your job. If you're found guilty of performing malpractice on the aircraft, you can serve jail time. So it's that serious.
And I just want to know, like the big aircrafts, you have the black box or flight recorder. Do you have such devices in a small aircraft?
Yes, some of the small aircraft would have them, but not all of them. In terms of recording, the large aircraft, like the small, what we call private jets, they would have those systems. But for many of the small aircraft that we have in over, they may not have a recording system, but what they do have is a location or a locator system. If there's a crash, they will send out a distress signal, which will help search and rescue find the aircraft. So it sends out that signal, and you basically lock into that signal where it's coming from, and you fly to the location, so you can rescue the people as early as possible.
Aircraft generally operate with two types of engines, either piston engine or a turbine engine. So any engine like turbofan, turboprop, those are variations of turbine engines. So here we have an IO5 piston engine. So this would be like the same type of engine that you have in your car, but some components are simpler. So just like how the car engine works, this is how it works. It's basically straightforward. So you got 6 cylinders, each cylinder carries 2 spark plugs. They turn a crankshaft, and the propeller is bolted onto the crankshaft. So this is what students would usually do projects on. So they would start like removing cylinder, cleaning the cylinder, inspecting piston rings, and stuff like that. So there's a cross-section propeller. Anybody know if an aircraft could go in reverse? No? Do you think yes or no? Yeah. Some people say yes, some people say no. Well, an aircraft is not made to go in reverse, but so we got something what we call reverse thrust, or a negative angle of attack on the aircraft propeller. So what we would do to achieve reverse, since the propeller producing thrust to pull the aircraft forward, we would send the air in the opposite direction. So it's like a fan. So to achieve that, we change the angle of the blade. So in here, got a piston, a spring, and it got variations of designs, but most types use a spring and oil pressure. So that would vary the pitch of the blade. So the blades literally turn like this. So that would change whether it's sending air back or it's sending air forward. So on planes with turbine engines, it's a bit different to how that operates. So this operates with 4 principles: intake, compression, combustion, and exhaust. So turbine engines do the same thing, but in a different way. So this, when the piston moves down, air and fuel mixture moves into the cylinder. It's compressed by the piston, and that compression, added with a spark, gives you combustion in the cylinder, and thus sends down the piston and produces a rotation on the crankshaft. So all that happens within a split of a second. So that happens continuously between these cylinders. So a turbine engine uses the same principle, it happens differently. So maybe after you guys will come on, so the turbine engine, much different from what you see over there, right? So this is the front of the engine. So they got the same 4 cycles, but how it handles is different. So air comes into the engine, front here, it's directed onto the compressor blades. So this can compresses the air so that when you add a spark in, it ignites rapidly. So you won't waste fuel and stuff like that. So there's an axial stage compressor, axial flow compressor. So air comes here, it's compressed in there, and then we have what we call igniter plugs in the boiler can. So the igniter plugs, when the air is compressed, it adds, the air is combusted in this chamber, and then the exhaust gas goes on the turbine and spins the turbine. So air comes in, compresses, is ignited, and the exhaust gas spins the turbine. So these are the power turbines. The power turbines is connected to the axial flow compressor. So when this turns, this compressor also turns. And notice that the blades get smaller and smaller as it goes in. So that's the aiding compression of the air. So when this turns, it spins the compressor section and that in turn compresses more air and the cycle repeats. So these engines produce higher amount of thrust than a piston engine. That's basically it. Other variations, some of them you might see like these big blades, you might see a big fan on it. So the fan is basically to send other extra air over the engine. So it kind of produces more thrust in it. Any questions?
Sir, can you explain the Bernoulli's theorem, the shape of the blade? Aircrafts would have to traffic and go in the direction of the wind so that you would have a lifting effect. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So Bernoulli's principle basically states that when the air passes over a rapid stream of moving air, it produces a lower pressure. So on the propeller, if you notice here, right, this part is the propeller flap, and then this part curve. So a wing is basically a propeller, or a propeller is basically a wing. So when we're going to touch this a wing example. So when this moves through the air at the top here moves faster than the air at the bottom because it wants to reach, when the air comes here, it wants to reach here at the same time. So the speed over here, being that it's a curved surface, it goes faster. And here, the air remains relatively stable, the speed. So what happens at the top is that as it moves faster, it creates an area of low pressure because you get less mass per unit volume. So you get low pressure at the top here, and you get higher pressure at the bottom. So in essence, what it does is produces lift force. So it produces a force that carries the aircraft upwards. So that's how a wing works, and relatively the same thing for a propeller in some sense. So aircraft generally work with, well, the wing generally work with two principles, Bernoulli's principle and Newton's third law of motion. So Bernoulli's principle, with a fast moving stream of fluid, you have an area of low pressure because you have less mass per unit volume. So you got low pressure here, well, less force per unit area as well. So low pressure here and a higher pressure here. So in essence, it pushes the aircraft upwards. And Newton's third law of motion, with every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So the force of the wing on the air is equal to the same force pushing it back. So that aids the aircraft in producing lift. So, any other questions? How often? Well, we don't really change the blades because if you tamper with this, it could produce a faulty unit. So what we do is regular maintenance. So after scheduled hours, a certain hour of operating time or calendar hours, we would do an inspection on the blades. But I think a blade change was most likely made in cases severely damaged, and then you would have to open up the engine. This combustion chamber don't ever touch the wall. It burns so hot that if it's to ever touch the wall, it will burn a hole right through the engine. So we got what we call a toroidal vortex around this can. So airflow is allowed to go around the can to maintain the direction of the flame inside the engine.
Garbage is part of the same batch. We are proud to say that these are products of Apex Education. They are now almost completing the course here at Art Williams School of
Can you repeat your name because of the background noise? Their names.
This is Kosi Warka and this is Gavish. Gavish Prasad.
We are so proud of both of you guys.
Very, very proud.
Keep it up.
Driving your car, you hear a song, you pull over. Say, don't make it that song, let me pull over. When you're flying in an airplane and you hear a song, you can't pull over. Any pulling over is coming down. Safety is important. It's one of the most important things in aviation. So when you're working in aviation, you always have to maintain focus. Yeah? And you have to be dedicated to your work. Without that, you can be putting yourself in a spot. And as a question was asked earlier, what happens if an airplane crashes? What happens is that an investigation would be launched. They will investigate the crash site. They will investigate all of the data collected to determine what caused the incident or accident. And then, if there was somebody that was found guilty, put it this way, of not doing the right thing, yeah, then that person can end up in prison. That's how serious aviation is. Yeah? So it's not like a car mechanic shop. If the mechanic don't do a good job, what you can do, you run and cuss him out, right? In aviation, we don't do that. We have a formal investigation that's launched, and if somebody is found guilty of doing illegal or malpractice work on the airplane, they will stand before the court of law, they can be charged and imprisoned. That's how serious it is. Go there, I'm on the end. Go there.
Team Apex is very proud of your achievement. Gavish Prasad, right? How many persons think they have a passion and interest in the aviation sector? Put up your hand. Very good. So how many persons think that they would join the aviation sector? Very good. Art Williams and Harry Wendt Aeronautical Engineering School. Team Apex on tour. Art Williams and Harry Wendt Aeronautical Engineering School here at Eugene F. Correa International Airport. How are you, sir? Apex is proud of your achievement.
Oh, and trim down the handle there,
Trim
right?
is usually on the pilot.
The handle, right?
Yeah.
You gotta go over the side. Yeah, you go over the side. I want to go. I like this plane. I want to go.
Let the real pilots fit on everybody, but
The trim there right there. I know what out of these two is the trim. I know that for sure. Engine start.
Where are we going?
Trinidad.
Any questions?
No, I already asked questions.
Okay.
How long at turbine?
This is at the altitude center.
This
Hello. How was your experience? Art Williams and Harry Wendt Aeronautical Engineering School. Welcome to Guyana. Hope you experience our cultural diversity.
Wait, explain it, I want to hear.
Yeah.
It's mainly with landing gear, mostly mechanics. Avionics deal with instruments, wireless
Lazaro Fraser, Secretary Treasurer of the alumni of the Art Williams and Harry Wendt Aeronautical Engineering School. He was also a former student of Apex Education. Lorenzo Fraser, former student of Apex Education, now Secretary Treasurer of this organization here at Eugene F. Cora International Airport. Wonderful experience. Get into the flight deck or the cockpit. Hello. Welcome to Guyana. Art Williams and Harry Wendt Aeronautical Engineering School. We want to say thank you. Cessna 421A model.
Yes, were we?
Y'all get questions? The what? The power on button.
Turn on the engine.
Is a sequence you have to do. It doesn't have a
Press
button.
Art Williams and Harry Wendt Aeronautical Engineering School.